Hey, welcome back. We're going to talk about putting your saw blade into your saw frame. That's the first part of the sawing process. So you will need to grab a saw frame from cabinet number 1. Your saw frame itself has 3 adjustments, a handle, and a neck. So you have wing nuts that will open and close. There'll be a gap in between here, which you're going to put your saw blade into at the top. There'll be a gap in between here when you open it a little bit. You just need to open it a half a turn. If you open it too much, this thing will come out. Just grab the parts and pieces and put it back together. And then you have a third adjustment, which is if you open that, it will let you change the height of the neck of the saw frame. And that's important because when you take your saw blade, you want to make sure that there's enough of the saw blade to go ahead and get attached in the top and in the bottom. So if it's too short, it's going to have to bend, and if it's too long, it won't reach. Tighten that up. Ideally, you start with them tightened. So that's the saw frame. In your box, you have 3 saw blades. Those saw blades are very, very flexible. They also, on a closer view, look like this. They have, at either end of it is a place where it doesn't have any teeth to it. Between either end, it has these teeth, and you're going to want to remember to pointing down and out when you put it into your saw frame. So this right here can be really deceiving because it is flexible and it cuts metal. So if you put pressure on it with skin, it can cut your skin as well. So just when you handle it by the sides of it and don't run your fingers along the teeth of it. I'm going to go ahead and insert the saw blade into the saw frame. Gets a little tricky because you only have 2 hands. So you're going to use the help of the table to hang the end of your saw frame on, or you can just as easily put it between your knees and work down here. Either way will work just fine. So in order for me on the table to free up one of my hands, I just need to put it on my shoulder. Now the saw blade itself gets put in down and out, which at this angle means that those teeth are pointing towards me and towards you. So I'm going to open this wing nut up a little bit, hand tighten it in there. I'm going to check right here, and it's almost to the end of it. So I'm going to open this up, drop that down, close it up. At this stage in the game, I call it kind of a wet noodle. It moves around a little bit. To place some tension on that, you want it to be fairly tight. You're going to make this third adjustment. Loosen that up. Put pressure down with your finger here, pressure up with your thumb. Posing, closing pressure, and as you have that pressure, it tightens this up. Hold that, tighten that, and you're ready to go. It doesn't move anymore. The other way to put the pressure on that, so I'm going to go ahead and loosen this up. The other way to create tension is to go ahead and put that tension in there. I'm standing up now. My hand is on the handle of it. This is up against the table. I'm just going to lean into it with my hip, and the end of it right now is right here. I'm going to move it down about 1/4 of an inch by pushing that into the table, dropping that into that opening, tightening it, and letting go. If it doesn't tighten on there and you put too much tension on it, it can pop out. If there's a little bit of broken saw blade in there and it won't close on it, just open it up and check and get that out of there before you go. Before you start sawing, double check, make sure that the blades are facing down and out, and this is what that would look like. Down towards the handle, out away from the neck. If you point them if they pointed up, it's going to make it really tough for you to saw. So once you've double checked that, you want to double check the tension on it. There's going to be a little bit of movement, but it should not be like a wet noodle. If you have a wider piece, we do have some saw frames that have a deeper neck to them. Those are going to be a little bit looser. It's harder to get tension on that. Now you're ready to start sawing, and that's when we move into getting your V-board and your C-clamp set up. Always store your saw frame like this on your C-clamp, or sorry, your V-board, and then that way you don't have to worry about anything hitting that and breaking it, because these saw blades break really, really easily. So until next time, bye-bye.